Supreme Court hearing on the Worship Act that's expected on October 11th. Ahead of that, the All India Muslim Personal Law Board has submitted a plea asking no meddling with the 1991 Act and also some fear-mongering that's currently happening. So the Supreme Court is going to decide on the Places of Worship Act, and it's going to have a bearing on several other disputes as well. That crucial hearing is going to take place on October 11th after the Supreme Court had asked the centre to file its response within 2 weeks. Several pleas have challenged the Places of Worship Act because it can have a bearing on several disputes, including Gyanvapi as well as the Krishna Janmabhoomi. Now we have a reaction coming in from the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, which has submitted a fresh plea saying there should be no meddling with the 1991 Act, and also saying, talking about the 93 blast, saying it can lead to law and order situations. Legal editor Harish Nair is joining us live with the details on that story. Harish, now October 11th is a big hearing when the Supreme Court will resume hearing on the case, but now we have a reaction and some fear-mongering as well coming in from the All India Muslim Personal Law Board. What are the details?
Yes, in fact, this apparent confrontationist stand from the All India Muslim, Muslim Personal Law Board comes 2 days before the crucial Supreme Court hearing, as you rightly said, on petitions challenging the constitutional validity of the Place of Worship Act 1991, which ordered a status quo of religious structures as it existed on.
That's right. Request you to stay on with us, Harish. We have Vishnu Jain also joining us on the phone line. Mr. Vishnu Jain, would you say this is on expected lines? All India Muslim Personal Board has submitted a fresh plea saying don't meddle with the 1991 Act.
See, I feel that the language and the drafting of this entire application is not a plea. It's actually a threat which has been mounted on the entire judicial process. Because if you see earlier also, the same set of lines was taken by Jamaat Ulama Hind, where they said that if notice is issued in this petition, there will be law and order situation in the entire country. So I particularly believe that when we are into a legal process and we want to resolve any dispute through the mediums of court, and this is particularly a challenge to the constitutional validity of the Places of Worship Act, then there is no question of any riots or any bloodshed or bloodbath in the entire country. Because the fact of the matter is that the Supreme Court is going to examine that whether right of judicial review is a fundamental right or a basic structure of the Constitution or not. We all know that Mr. Owaisi keeps on arguing that secularism is the basic structure of the Constitution. But the fact of the matter is that judicial review is also the basic structure of the Constitution. And if judicial review has been taken away, the same will be examined by the Supreme Court. And therefore, just before the hearing, such kind of an affidavit by an All India Muslim Personal Law Board and Jamaat Ulama Hind, I think it is completely derogatory, and it's a mockery with the entire judicial process.
In fact, it's a big charge that you've made, Mr. Vishnu Jain, that it's not a plea by the All India Muslim Personal Law Board. It's more like a threat in the kind of language that has been used, because previously as well, while approaching the Supreme Court, the argument that has been made is that the law and order situation is going to worsen if the Supreme Court even hears the case.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. A plea, a thing comes within the definition of a plea when you are submitting something. But here the All India Muslim Personal Law Board is not making any submissions. They are trying to tell the court what will happen when the court hears the matter, or if the court takes a particular view. So I think it's a complete, they are trying to mess with the judicial process, and they are trying to degrade and dissolve this entire judicial process and mechanism by which the constitutional validity of the Places of Worship Act will be adjudicated. So therefore I believe that when the Supreme Court is going to hear this matter, and all the judges of the Supreme Court, and especially 3 judges of the Supreme Court, are going to decide whether it has to be referred to a larger bench or not, such kind of mechanism and such kind of an affidavit, I completely believe, and in my strongest words, I want to condemn it, and I want to say...
Okay. All right. You condemn the plea that has been filed. Mr. Vishnu Jain, thank you for joining us. Thanking legal editor Harish Nair as well for joining us on the broadcast. Of course, the Supreme Court will take up the issue on October 11th. It will be interesting to see the developments that take place.